Hey. Well, I sound quiet. I sound quiet. What's going on? Morgue me. Yay. MLA, what's going on? How is all the peeps? How is all the peeps? Fawcett, are you here? I feel like the Fawcett's here. How is everybody? Currently working online stuff. Oh, boy. Morgue me. How's your Minecraft world going? Can you all hear me? Inspector Gadget, I'm not here. Good, neither am I. Ugh. Oh, nice, Morgue. That's awesome that you get to do that. Got a phone interview in half an hour. Nice. All the good things happening. Good luck. Praying for you, Miss MLA. That you get the job you want. Doing the things you need to do. It's been crazy here. We're still doing construction, finishing up some construction that we had on the go here at Rise Above. Sorry, I need to do a couple things here. Yeah, but we're plodding along, hoping, praying that all this goes. We just got a stay-in-place order here in the state of Michigan this morning. Apparently, Ohio gave one yesterday. So my guess is sooner or later, the vast majority of populous states those who have high population densities anyways, will follow suit. So, and that's kind of the crux of, yeah, you're effed in Jersey. New York in general is, man, it is scary what's going on over there with you guys. Worst apocalypse ever. I mean, it's the worst part because even the zombies are stay in place. So, I mean, they can't even leave the house. So, I mean, it's not even anything to shoot at yet. So, if the zombies can't leave the house, I mean, gee whiz, ain't even got any target practice. Oh, boy. You ready to fight aliens and zombies? Was not prepared to not get a haircut or to go bite. That's funny. It's true, though. I mean, the reality is, I mean, the nice thing is, I mean, people aren't going absolutely crazy yet with regards to the whole grocery thing. I mean, they're having their thing. I mean, here's something. I went to give blood the other day, and I mean, we had all kinds of problems. Questions, like these guys ask a lot. Who here gives blood? Does anybody give blood in chat? Anyone done that before? I'd never done it before. You guys give blood? Can't give blood, you pass out. Yeah, because I mean, I went in and these guys asked a ton of questions. They wanted to know whose blood it was, why it was in buckets. I mean, all kinds. I mean, it was crazy. Like, none of their business where I got it from. I just wanted to give it to them because I had a lot. So, what's up?
Hello.
Just talking about giving blood, but they denied me.
They did?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently having blood in a bucket's a problem. But whatever. These guys just didn't want my blood. You didn't get my joke. Let me put.
Now I get it.
Yeah. Hang on, let me get you in there. Say hello, everybody. Mr. Nick.
How's it going?
Let me know how if Nick sounds all right.
Oh, I don't have a mic in front of me.
Yeah,
That'll
having a
probably
mic in
help.
front of you is probably better, but jokester today, yeah. But the truth is, I've never given blood. But they're saying for folks to still go and give blood and do all that stuff. I was just saying I went to give blood the other day, and you know, when I went in, they asked me all kinds of questions, like just tons of questions.
Yeah.
I mean, they wanted to know whose blood it was, why it was in a bucket, and, you know.
Nice. I did have somebody go to get blood the other day, and he waited 45 minutes, a friend of mine, and, like, he just had to leave to go back to work, you know? Like, so it's good that, you know, people are willing to, but
Yeah.
they got to make it efficient.
They got to find a way.
Yeah.
Do you know the way? What's this? I take into account risk misspelled you in the title. What are you even talking about? Where did I misspell him in the title?
No, you misspelled you. There's an extra O in you.
Oh, well, who cares?
I don't. I mean, I do a little bit. I used to be a proofreader.
How you feeling? Where's the title, anyways? Was that on the previous screen, Morg, on the where I was just on the thing? Is that the one where I misspelled it, or on like the Twitter tweet thing I sent out? So how is everybody feeling? What is your state doing or not doing, or your country doing or not doing with regards to the pandemic? What's your household doing to stop from going crazy, Nick?
Our household, it's going crazy.
Is
what
that?
it's doing. We've been spending a lot of time outside, although there's snow on the ground today.
It
you
snowed
know.
like 2.5 inches, 3 inches
Yeah,
last night.
we did some leaf work yesterday in the yard. The boys have been playing basketball,
Yeah.
you know. But
You and your wife have been doing something kind of different too.
Yeah, we've been streaming on Facebook Live. We streamed a couple times last week, just a way to chat with our friends. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Stuck at home. We had talked about Zoom, but we just, I don't know. It's interesting. We've got a little bit of a following, you know, but they like it when we disagree and we yell at each other. You know,
Well,
how that
Veronica and I
goes.
would be a hit.
I know. I think you would. Maybe we need to have you on sometime.
She would never do it. She'd never do it. Veronica's very anti stream anything.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's just
I'm
one
aware.
of those. Yeah. You've heard, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of like I don't know. Our biggest thing is we like to be able to move around.
Yeah.
You know, and we have a small house, so that doesn't help. We don't even have tons of property
Yeah.
to go and like walk through the bush or something
Yeah.
crazy like that. I mean, so it sucks when you're talking to a friend, and because it was my son's birthday last night, he turned 15.
Yep.
My youngest guy, my youngest,
Yeah.
is 15, and we're sitting there having pizza and chocolate pie last night. And, my daughter and her husband were over, and
Mm-hmm.
just as they're getting set to leave, Marika, my daughter's like the makeup queen for all of you who
Yeah.
don't know, says to
Okay. Everything's great. Everything is
What's up,
awesome.
Boost? Welcome back, buddy. Appreciate you subscribing. 3 months. Says, oh, look, it's snowing. And I almost wanted to shove her out the door
Yeah.
just for saying the words.
Yeah.
I was like, you got to be. She goes, yeah, we're supposed to get like 2 or 3 inches. I'm like, even more, you need to leave.
Yeah. I think about how, like, the kids would have been all disappointed this morning if we hadn't, you know what I mean? If we were supposed to have school and then it wasn't canceled. And now they probably want to go to school. you know?
I was going to say, they're like, come on. Oh, school's canceled. Oh, come
Yeah.
on.
I do look at it like my kids have more contact with their friends than I would have at their age.
There is a blessing
through
in there.
just through like social media and gaming. You know, like
Yeah.
they're big gamers, and so they're still chatting with their friends. So I don't think they feel that loss yet. You know.
Mm-hmm. What's that? MLA, Ontario still on lockdown, but people are chilling on the beach in Vancouver despite having some of the highest cases in the country. Yeah. You're all right, Boost. No, interrupt anytime you want. That's why we do this, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing. Our kids are very connected, but I can tell you, the Asher, my youngest guy, whose birthday was yesterday,
Mhm.
his personality is literally changing. Like he
Yeah.
is going stir crazy.
Yeah.
That's why. I mean, when his sister left yesterday, he ended up packing a bag.
Hey,
He's
look,
like, I'm
Marika.
going
Marika's
with you.
on.
Oh, there she is. I'm talking about you. Yes. You know, and so Asher went with her
Yeah.
to her house just to change scenery.
Yeah.
Just get out of the freaking house and do something different, right?
Yeah.
Because you do. There's only so many games of whatever he plays.
Yeah. It is. It's tough. We watched a movie together last night, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Marika, what'd you and Asher and Craig do last night? Did you guys party like it was 1999? So what are you guys doing to stop from going crazy? I mean, we've had like 3 fires, not literally burning the house down, but like we have a fireplace in our house. So we're having fires on a regular basis and kind of sitting there, and we're keep waiting for 1917 to come out on video so we can watch a decent movie. Talk to your dog a lot.
If the dog starts talking back, that's when you need to be concerned.
Yeah, that's really when the dog starts articulating, philosophical statements to you. You probably need to call somebody because the dogs just stop cutting it. You watched Teen Titans in 2003. Nice.
We watched Eddie the Eagle last night.
Eddie the Eagle.
It's an inspirational sports movie about a British ski jumper. Like, he had this dream of going to the Olympics forever.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then decided to become a ski jumper.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing a lot too, MLA. I'm not a big TV person. So, Inspector, you did yard work. It must be nice to be able to get outside. It's been either raining or ice cold.
Yeah. Well, we tried to burn a little bit of yard waste yesterday, but it's still wet. So you can't do much.
Yeah. Morg, I have more gifts for you in the old Minecrafts as well. I procured something last night for you. I'm opening a store so you guys can go shop.
My son and his 2 buddies worked probably longer than I want to admit on a little Minecraft thing yesterday, but they're so proud of themselves.
It's a great time killer.
Like, it's and it's impressive. I can't do that. I can build a square box. Like, that's the extent of my skills.
I like it as a game to play with my son simply because I don't have to worry about him sniping me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And if he does, I'm gonna get him anyways.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about anything inappropriate coming up anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all safe.
Correct. Yeah.
The weather here is so stupid it can't make up its mind. Yeah, it's Michigan.
It's crazy.
Michigan.
Probably 50 by tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, what'd they say? It's supposed to get up.
I think like 47 today, so the snow's going to be gone.
Should be. They said, and I quote, everything's in Celsius. So, I mean, most of you will get it, but some of you won't. Supposed to get to 7 today, 9 tomorrow, and then 14 Wednesday and Thursday.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah. It's supposed to warm up. It's supposed to get a little warmer. So, I mean, the question is, hey, Nappy, welcome back. 13 months.
Wow.
Welcome back. Much love, my friend. Indeed. Appreciate you, man. How you been doing, Nappy? Things going okay on the home front? Craig might be getting time off, so we're going to get a lot of gaming done. Holding on by a thread. Well, I'm with you. You know how to get in touch with me if you need me. Gotcha. Yeah, Morg's always a nice person to throw stuff at, too. Better than kicking a dog. Morg meme. Who's this? So, I mean, there's a tragedy in all of this in that we are highly social beings.
Yes.
And what do they say about idle hands? Idle hands cause problems.
Yeah.
And here we are. We're asking people to stay at home for a ridiculous amount of time. So what is it in Michigan? What's the
I
timeline?
just said 3 weeks.
So 3 weeks, stay-at-home order.
Stay safe. I love how they
stay safe order.
Try to make it like
because
better.
The stay in place order. The reason why they don't call it that is because that's also what they use for active shooters and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they changed the wording, trying to, hey Anna, what's going on? Nice to have you here. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, so they're trying to soften the verbiage a little bit so that people don't panic, right?
Yeah.
So, but there's a reality social-wise, and this gets back to my desire to do a study on this platform and others, is the reality is I think these places are going to get flooded with activity. So not only are people going to be on, but there's people that are going to be on longer.
Yeah.
I mean, Marika very clearly made the comment that they're about to do a whole crap ton of gaming.
Yeah.
And I hazard a guess to say that that's all my kids have done for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's like this fine line where, like, I mean, part of you is like, man, just let them game. Their world's turned upside down now too, you know? And then my older son, Gavin, last night was like, my back hurts. And his back hurts because he would catch himself slouching and then intentionally try to, like, fix his posture.
Yeah.
you know, which good on him, because I don't have that thought process.
So what are the side effects that you guys are seeing already from your week, 2 weeks? Because this is essentially our first week, our
Yeah.
first real week
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Because we had staff here all last week. So what are the side effects that you guys are seeing? Because for me, it's gonna be, if this weather doesn't crack, I am gonna go stinking crazy.
Yeah, I get antsy. Like, I definitely get antsy at home. Like, I just went for a drive, you know, but
But what's your go-to when you're antsy though? So when you're stuck and you're like, oh, day off, I really
Well,
don't have anything planned.
I want to do something active, you know, but you can't do something active with people, you know. So I went for a drive yesterday. I listened to a podcast while I went for a drive, but you know, it's just, yeah. I mean,
Does this kind of thing affect your sleep?
it didn't at first. Like early on last week, when you could tell that there were like some nerves and stuff, you know, in society.
Yeah.
It didn't at first. It has recently, for sure. Like, I struggled to get to sleep last night, but yeah, I mean, and like, honestly, for me, the no sports factors in too. Like, that would be my go-to, you know.
I
watch
literally-
March Madness.
I literally watched a hockey game from February 1st
Yeah,
yesterday.
the Ocho was back on yesterday. Did you watch any of that? ESPN the Ocho, where they showed all these crazy sports. Like,
Oh,
they
yeah.
showed cornhole, and they had this thing called slippery stairs, where they were trying to run up icy stairs. And
Has anyone seen the slippery stairs? YouTube slippery stairs when you get a
Yeah,
chance.
it's
Not right now
excellent.
because you're supposed to be watching us.
yeah, but yeah, there was some good stuff on there. They had cup stacking on, which was interesting. Yeah, it goes back to like when ESPN first came out, and they didn't have all these big contracts.
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
showed
yeah.
like pool but
So hubby is overworked. So does that mean he's getting a break now? Is that a good thing? Your wife wants to kill you more? Fair enough. I assume my household will get to the same at some
I saw
point.
a great meme that said like day 3 with no sports. There was a lady sitting on my couch. Apparently, she's my wife. Some of the genius that goes into these memes like should be solving the world's problems.
There was one, Marika was saying it, I think Marika or Craig was saying it yesterday. Oh, it was Craig, said if you had a choice, 2 things, either stay at home with your wife and kids during this whole thing, or number 2, I'll take number 2. Before you even get, I'll take number 2. The guy's
What's
giving
my
a
other
choice.
option? Yeah.
I'll just take number 2. Yeah, I mean, people are just, they go stir crazy, and I think that's my biggest thing is where you're gonna see kind of an uptick in that whole social violence thing between domestics, right? The idea of kids just getting in the way or parents getting in the way.
I mean, there's definitely concerns for that, right? You know, if you already have an unstable situation and then you're stuck together, those are the people you worry about, yeah.
Yeah. So he's working a lot. I mean, so because of this, he's working more, Anna? What field is he in, if you don't mind me asking? Marika, you can't possibly sleep more. I'm just going to throw that out there now. I'm sorry. Your body already gets way too much. Yeah. Morg, it's one of those things where especially when you think about the population we serve, right? They're coming from an environment where their parents are already doing everything they can to get them out of the house and to not pay attention to them because they find them as a hindrance, right? Gotcha, Anna. And then suddenly they're thrust in an environment where they're not allowed to leave the house. If they're found wandering the streets, somebody police-wise is going to be called.
Yeah, it's going
Right.
to bring them home.
Absolutely. And then it's just going to add greater stress and catastrophe in those situations. So, I mean, what are some of the things that we're doing here to try and engage the kids?
Yeah, so we're intentionally, like, Will, our student success advisor, is getting on today to play Fortnite with them this afternoon.
Yeah.
We wrote them all letters last week so that they're getting touch points. I mean, those of them that engage with us, you know, will engage with them. Like, I sent some messages this morning, not just through our system that they do their classwork through, but just some text as well. But it's when we told the kids last week we were closing down, there was 1 or 2 that were like really upset, you know.
I hazard guess it's probably even more than one
yeah,
or two.
just visibly. Yeah. So, I mean, you look at last week when all the public schools were closed down, we had more than half of our crew willing to show up.
Yeah.
That doesn't usually happen.
Without even being asked.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think, pardon me, when you talk about handwriting a letter
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
students, I think
That's what we were
that
doing.
in
Yeah.
itself is huge. So we sent letters out to actually some former students as well,
Yep.
just to say hi and what we appreciate about them, and
Mm-hmm.
quickly come back to us, type of a scenario. And then we also put all of our Twitch
Yep.
stuff on there. And hey, you want to play this game on Mondays? We'll be there. This is what you need to look up. Add me as a friend, type
Yep.
of thing, just to give them continued access to
Correct.
us.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, although we are academic,
Yep.
our focus is the social. So if we don't have them physically in our presence, we're trying to find another way to.
Yeah, so we have a student, Jay, who's watching sometimes on here. It's his birthday today, so I texted him this morning, said happy birthday, and
Happy birthday, Jay! If you're
sent him
on,
a
buddy.
funny little GIF to
Yep.
go with it, and yeah,
Yeah, it's one of those things, I think, that I talk about it a lot with volunteers when they come in. You know, a volunteer will come in every week, and the kid will have no interaction with them. They almost feel upset that the volunteer is there, and then someday the volunteer doesn't show up,
yeah,
and then the kid is like, "Well, where's Mrs. Smith? I
They
thought
notice it.
It's
Yeah.
Tuesday. Mrs. Smith is supposed to be here, right?"
Yeah,
They put on that kind of macho face the whole time, and then
Yeah.
suddenly Miss Smith doesn't show up, and they're like, "Wait a second,
yeah,
right? My rock is gone." So let's see what's everyone's saying. I'm at least happy that my kiddos are still allowed to get food from the school district. That's
Mhm.
cool. I don't know how much. What are we doing around here? Do you know?
related to food.
Yeah,
Yeah, not much.
I mean, we're not Rise Above.
Oh no,
isn't.
but the county as
The
a whole, like
counties.
all the school districts have things, like, and they're all a little different. Like Da Vinci's delivering by bus, and JPS is doing bus, and there's pickup sites. And Northwest started as just pickup sites, and there were just a couple, and then the community kind of stepped up, and so now there's other sites because community
Yeah, yeah,
members
yeah,
were
yeah.
willing to step up and host that. So. So yeah, I mean, it's been neat to see that continue to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Will just texted me. I got to see what he's saying. I think it might be about the whole streaming thing here. So let me ask.
So one of the things I find interesting about this whole situation is how people realize the need to seek out community in ways that they didn't in the past.
Yeah.
And can we make that better going forward? You know, because we talk about relationship and community a lot in what we do, but you see it extending beyond us now. Like the schools are, not that they didn't do it before, but they're having to find intentional ways to do it. And can that be a positive long term?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Will the people sustain it?
Yes.
Post
Yeah.
apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, because the reality is, it's likely that the students are not going back to school this year.
Yes.
There's a good chance that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Scary thought, but it's a real thought.
Yeah.
And if they don't go back this year, there is there's two things that I get out of that. One, it's a huge opportunity for schools to re-engineer what they know to be true,
Mm-hmm.
right? With
Yeah.
regards to their student body and how they do things and how they want to function.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it is a possible tragedy in the making. Because the reality is, if someone doesn't seize the opportunity to do something good with this, i.e., we have been saying forever, oh, we do too much with our kids. We just need to cut all the junk out. Well, guess what? All
Yeah.
the junk's been cut out,
Yeah.
right? Forced from you.
Yeah.
Now do the thing that you say you've been wanting to do, and that's what I'm saying. That's the tragedy waiting to happen. Because if nobody decides to do it, if we just all decide to sit there, like have a birthday party at my house and watch all my kids and son-in-law pull out their phone
Yep.
while we're at the dinner table and click on their phones, Marika.
She's totally gonna tune out after.
Yeah,
now.
she already has. There's a reality there that we can go the wrong way with this too,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, it's interesting, Morg. You talk about teaching online is going to be wild with the younger kids. We see it because our students do online work all the time. It is not for everybody, and it's not necessarily a smooth, easy, intuitive thing.
And it's particularly hard the younger you get.
Correct. Yeah.
Right, because it typically younger people are attracted to vibrant, dynamic things on the square, flashy boxes, right?
Yeah.
In what you're going to do, Morg, unless it's flashy in some way, is not going to hold their attention long. The younger they are.
Yeah.
Now, depending on what parents do and how much parents engage with you, I know our population, for the most part, the vast majority of our population's parents would not necessarily assist with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be difficult to have that age bracket, 5 and 6 year olds, particularly watching online.
Yeah.
Now, if you dress up in a clown outfit and be silly, or something, whatever.
The stuff they're going to engage with is there's art teachers doing things on that. They'll engage with that, and there's music teachers. It's going to be hard with the core subjects if that's what certain states, certain districts decide to do going forward to try to get through this year,
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by reforms? What types of reforms are you talking about, Morg? Or Marika? And Morg, yes, get yourself a nice outfit, clown or bunny or something, and learn how to make balloon puppies,
That would be excellent.
You'll hold them 5 and 6 year olds like nobody's business. Be a pro. Pardon me. Because I like the fact that my life has slowed down dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
But this is we talked about sabbatical before.
Yeah.
Right. And the issue with sabbatical for me is I can't sit still.
Yeah.
For more than 5 minutes anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that I would ever use a sabbatical effectively because my brain will want to get back into work mode. So I've just got to find a way to slow down and not do as much.
This might do it a little bit.
Yeah. And so this kind of forces my hand, because I'm not going to the 1,000 different meetings throughout the week or the month. And as much as it sounds fun, and I'm not joking. Be creative, costume-wise with your kiddos, because that's again that you got to really mimic, like a Blue's Clues or something that they're gonna want to watch, right?
Yeah.
For me though, as long as I feel like I'm doing either something of interest, if I'm because the law, I'm just going through the laws that have just recently been enacted to keep us in place. Whether or not what I want to do would be restricted in any sort of way. But they say go out and hike,
Yeah, they're not saying don't be outside. They're just saying be outside 6 feet away from people. But you can go to the gym. That's a big go-to for you, and we all have those things. Like the things I like to do athletically involve other people too, and they involve better weather than what we got going
tennis
on out there right
the
now,
Speaking of tennis, has Northwest got the tennis courts addressed yet?
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We're working on it. That's one of the things that our superintendent is going out and working with the business community on
Trying to resolve.
into. Yeah, so because again, one of the things that people don't realize, at least around here related to those courts, is at Northwest, that school district doesn't have a town associated with it, right? There's no city center.
Yeah,
there's no
that's
community. True. Like the school is the kind of the social hub for that area. Mm-hmm. And so the courts become part of that, just like updating the track becomes part of that.
Yeah.
And honestly, the playgrounds become part of that because we don't have a town. Like our parade goes down a country road next to 2 school buildings, So
it's true.
It's 100%.
I'm honest until you said that. It never dawned on me that that's actually the case.
And then to have the community that we have out there, because I think we do have strong community out there, is even more impressive. So I'm hoping the courts happen. Just so everybody knows, our courts at the school district where my kids go and where I used to coach high school tennis, they have cracks big enough to put tennis balls down inside.
Yeah. 100%. So Morg Blues Clues with the Duke. Yeah, you got your dog. Yeah, you could totally do a Blues Clues theme. There was a girl Blues Clues for a while there. You could even look up what she did. What are you saying? After the Depression, people to fight human rights. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I get what you're saying. Andy, welcome back, my brother. I'd say welcome back to the gym, but really the gym's close. So, I mean, eat pizza. Do what you got to
Yeah.
do, bro. Fatten up for the winter because, winter will be here in 10 months. So, welcome back. Big love, dude. Chin up and battle through. Will do. It's the old Fernandez way, I guess. So if things get torn down enough, hopefully things at school give a chance to change for him. Ooh, Dad, text me the address to Rise Above. 936 Fleming Avenue. It's on the website.
202.
Yeah. 493-202, yeah. Yeah, 492.
202.
Yeah, 49202.
Yeah.
It's on the website. It's doxed. Dox away because it's on our website. You all have access to the website, so
Yeah.
I'm not no sense in hiding it in a conversation like this. Send them over. The police aren't going to come anyways.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, yes. Anyways, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? What are we going to do? Because there's a challenge to the 2 weeks. Well, 3 weeks, I guess. Really, is what
3
she
weeks
just said
now.
today.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to stop us from doing is getting close enough to each other to spread whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
How effective do you think it is?
How effective, like,
Quarantine. Because that's what it is. It's quarantine.
I don't know, because it's so hard. Because, like, I don't know. I'm not a cynical person, but you can. I guess I kind of am in a way that I'm saying this. But you can make the numbers say what you want them to say,
Sure.
right? And you can make the numbers show it's really dangerous, and it appears to be. And some of the stories that have been coming out lately imply that, yeah, if you get it, it is a little bit more serious than I think we were led to believe
Originally.
up front. So I think that I'm taking a few more steps than I initially did, and I think everybody kind of is,
Yeah.
but there's still going to be a spectrum there,
Yeah.
right?
I'd love to make this a whole conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
video.
I just don't.
Let's talk about all this stuff.
It's hard. It's so hard because, again, I think there's arguments to be said from both sides. There's arguments to be said that
Yeah.
we're overkilling, and there's arguments to be said that we're not. Like,
Because
I look at Ohio. Like, Ohio had 3 confirmed cases, and they did this stay-at-home thing a few days ago, whereas we're at 1,000, 1,200 now, and we're just doing it now. When you look at 300 in a state of 9 or 10 million, like, it's not a lot.
yeah.
But
Because that's my question too. What do they? And this is going to seem really like Illuminati-esque.
Yeah,
my
no, I'm okay.
ask, but it's
Go
a
there.
legitimate ask.
yeah,
What do they know that we don't?
Correct.
When we're talking about, the flu, which is already had 50,000 deaths in the USA to this point this year.
yeah.
Normally,
Mm-hmm.
versus this that's got 1,000.
Yeah, I think
What are we missing?
the speed of the transmission seems to be different, right?
Is what
like
I'm
the,
hearing,
the,
too.
The pace at which
Aliens.
it moves. That could be. I love it. The pace at which it moves, is different. I saw a really good alien meme, but not appropriate. So. But yeah, there's got to be something more, and it's hard in today's journalism culture to really find that out because everyone has an agenda. And I say that with a journalism degree, and
Yeah.
I love media.
So
but
do you think that? So let's talk about that for a second. Do you think that? Because I have a definite opinion on this, and I'll happily voice it here in a second. That the media is somehow politicizing this or weaponizing this to move an agenda.
I think so.
One way or the other?
There's left, right, and center, right?
Yeah.
No matter what you do, and each partisan outlet is going to do that for their own benefit. It's hard not to. And if let's say there's a partisan outlet that is really trying hard to not do that, it's still going to come off that way, And so it's so tough. Like, there's 24-hour news cycles now. There's 8 to 10 cable TV news networks that have to fill 24 hours.
Yeah.
30 years ago, when it was a newspaper every day and a nightly news, it's not moving like this, right? And so I think that's just part of it, is just the need to keep talking, and the need to, everybody's an expert now. and the whether you're an
Uh-huh.
expert is defined by what they put on the screen when you're on TV, you know?
Yeah.
And I hate knocking it because I love journalism. I love I love like back in the day when they did these in-depth things. You can't do that anymore because it's all about being first.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I mean, what's from the hype standpoint? Because I think there's a lot of manipulation going on.
Yeah, both
100%.
ways. Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying one way, middle way, or up and down.
Mhm.
It's just period. There's a lot of manipulation going on. And I think that there's a lot of misuse of words and those sorts of things that are just trying to be destructive overall instead of having the goal of common good
Mhm.
at play here. And I think the tragedy when we're trying to find a resolution to this, is to look at self-interest first. I mean, the whole toilet paper scam is a prime example of that.
Yeah.
From an American standpoint, we have a system in place logistically to feed our nation
Mhm.
continually for quite a long time.
That is in fine shape.
That is in great shape and still functioning like it ever did, and yet we had a mad run on toilet paper a few weeks back.
Mhm.
And the reality there is people don't understand the network enough to realize, wait a second, we have enough in our system to last us a long time. We don't
Yeah.
need to be hoarding anything. Like Veronica went to get just some flour so we could make bread because Veronica likes making bread.
Yeah.
And there was no flour.
And you
I'm like,
can't find
what?
yeast right now either.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's she said. She buys a brick of yeast from Sam's Club there, and she's
Yeah.
like, "There's no yeast either. Like, there's no need. We're allowed to go grocery shopping. The distribution networks are all in place still. All the food and whatnot is still running. Diesel, fuel, and all that is still being produced. There's still no. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, we're just starting to see it come back.
Yeah.
So normally logistics. So my background is logistics, so that warehousing and transportation.
Yeah.
The normal turnaround time is 5 to 7 days from the time because now everything's scannable, right? So you scan it, the computer system says, "Hey, I sold a box of toothpaste." So it'll automatically place once a minimum order is triggered. It'll automatically trigger a reorder. So in this case, when you completely obliterate an inventory of something, it's your minimum. Your waiting is 7 days. But when you do that everywhere,
Mhm.
you have a completely different upend on your system because you have to get the regular product out. Plus, you have to restock something that's been completely obliterated. And so what ends up happening is you take up a large part of your logistic structure to take care of one product.
Yeah.
So then you have another thing that we were talking about this at our house last night. All the food suppliers, like Gordon Foods and whatnot, that
Mhm.
supply all the restaurants.
Yeah.
Restaurants are all closed.
Yeah.
Guess who's sitting on a huge stockpile of food that they can't do anything with?
Yeah.
What do we do with all that? Literally, they're gonna have tons of food go to waste because they can't move it.
Mhm.
And we were talking about logistically, how do we open those gates up so normal people can go and
Yeah,
buy
can,
from
can go get them.
those places so that product doesn't go to waste. So, but yeah. So I mean, are you guys seeing shortages where you're at? We have a couple of different countries in here at least at this point. I don't know if Andy's still kicking around, but I don't see him.
Yeah, I imagine it's crazy out there today, like here in Michigan with the order just coming down tonight. Like today is not the day to go anywhere.
Yeah,
You know?
it would be interesting to see kind of what the response is going to be in Michigan because we've already had a big push
Yeah.
past couple weeks. People stocking up on stuff,
Mhm.
and I'm interested to see how people are if they're gonna double dip.
Yeah.
Because I mean I don't think my basin can hold any more. I think we've done our overmax on whatever we should have. We still don't have yeast, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Marika, what are you talking about? We're dropping the boy off at home and then coming for you. What are you coming for me? Bring it. Yeah, I'll overpower you. I ain't scared. You're mostly going out for necessities, but can't find anything. That's crazy. See, stuff like that is what kind of irks me a little bit about kind of the run-on stuff is when the people that don't get out as easily, when they want to go get something that we take for granted, running out and grabbing, a case of water, whatever the case is. That when people who only get out once a month because of limited mobility reasons, they go to get out and do stuff, and suddenly they're not finding what they need.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And I got to assume everybody's aware now, but at some point in the last week and a half, like that first time, like older people are not necessarily online, not necessarily getting their news 24/7.
Because that's the other half of this conversation when you talk about socializing and whatnot. I mean, you talk about people that have immune deficiencies and all this kind of stuff, and how they're the ones that should be staying away from people. And most of the time, those are our seniors.
Yeah.
And so they're not allowed out because they have immune deficiencies. They're not allowed to talk to them, socialize with them, face to face at least. And it's when you talk about getting out and doing things that are beneficial to them, it's near impossible at this point.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a lot of really stressful situations for
It's
those
already a group that's kind of isolated, and they're going to be even more isolated,
That's cool, Mort. I'm glad that you're able to do that at least. He called you to tell you about what happened on Cops. I'm sure Live PD is. So there's one, Live PD. I mean, they're not even doing their regular live anymore.
Oh, really?
They're having to run reruns. That's literally the only TV show we watch.
Because people aren't responding. Cops aren't responding to anything.
They're not. Yeah,
Except
by
my
and
wife.
large, unless it's an emergency, they're not doing regular traffic stops unless
it's my wife.
unless it's your wife.
Got pulled over on Friday. And I found it humorous.
And in a couple weeks ago, my wife got pulled over because she's a criminal. She's got a dark tint on her car and needs to be punished.
Yeah.
But I think there's yeah, it's craziness. I think it's been an interesting switch in my community, or my neighborhood lately, to see the roads empty, to not have the traffic roaring by at 100 mile an hour, except for the one guy in that Mustang that flips down my street 400 mile an hour every day.
Yeah.
I think he's found a new racetrack now that everybody's off the roads. But it's made me hearken back a little bit to times gone by, to think of when the house was built, when cars weren't everywhere, and could I do that? Could I go back to a time when? Could you go back to 1850 or?
I am not a mechanically inclined person. And so I worry about things like changing a wooden tire on a wagon. I do like, what's the word I'm looking for? I do sometimes love the idea of like farming, right? Like when my in-laws lived out in Concord.
Seems so romantic.
They had 26 acres, and I always just pictured myself like on a combine. They just had alfalfa that grew in their front area that a different farmer farmed, but I could like picture myself out there, So I do have like some nostalgia for that. Like it's hard work, and so maybe, I don't know, I could talk myself into either way,
I could totally do it. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'm confident you could. Yeah.
It's one of those things where Veronica and I have said many times it'd be great to, just have a little hobby farm, 30, 40 acres with some sheep and a couple goats, some chickens in the front yard and whatnot. I don't know that I could do cows and pigs and stuff. I mean, you might want to have one of each just for your annual call, so to speak. But the reality is I just don't know that I could do the big animals that much,
Yeah.
Like the little guys are a little more, sheep are low maintenance, so you
They're
can't be a farmer because I
manageable.
you could never eat your animals. You give them to somebody else, and then it's like you just, they put them in the little cellophane and saran wrap.
I'm the one to name all 200 cows. I like to name things too, so I think I would be in that boat too.
Name all 200 cats. This is Johnny. This is Susie. This is
Our kids' stuffed animals all have names. I think it started with me before they could talk.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't get attached. There's a reality to the four-legged critters and the two-legged ones. But I mean, that's one thing. I mean, having been a hunter my entire life, I have a friend of mine he's not a prepper, but he's socially aware of the necessity of life at given moments.
It's a great line right there.
And you know, he was nice enough to let me hunt his property this year, and he's got a lot of critters running around his property. And I said, well, if nothing else, I know we'll never starve because I know where I know where I'm coming to hunt. So chickens are a lot of work for eggs unless you're raising them for meat. Bird, yeah. My dad, you know, and that's one thing. I grew up on a hobby farm with my dad. My dad has always had pigeons, chickens, turkeys. On occasion, a pair of goats, a pair of sheep. You know, an uncle of mine had hundreds of sheep. He had a massive 500-acre farm. I already traded all my. I get more. I can get more. Traded all my sheep. You're only worth about 6, anyways. I had change left over. Let's put it that way. Craig's like, no, please. But yeah, I don't know. I think the hardest part of all that for me would be the water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you didn't have a good well or
Yeah.
access to a river or lake. Now we're in Michigan, so there's lakes everywhere.
Correct.
But especially where we're at, there's literally lakes everywhere. But I think I think it would be fairly easy for the normal guy or girl to produce what they need to live, because we have good soil, we have relatively temperate climate.
Yeah.
You know, we don't get heaps and heaps and heaps of snow, although snow is helpful at certain times.
Yeah. We just get it at random times.
Oy. So, I don't know. What would you find the hardest part about making the transition between today's world and your modern necessities and your streams and your iPhones to living back in the Harkin days? You like to shop. Well, they had shops back then too, and they had social clubs. You could still do those things.
I actually wonder if people socialized more, you know, because you
Now
see
or
these,
less?
No, them back in the day, like you had more face-to-face socialization, right? Like you had a bigger circle of tighter friends, kind of, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you know, and I don't know, maybe I'm just basing that off media and TV and stuff, but like, all
Well,
the
you think of
people
the
that
old
just-
barn raising things,
yeah,
right?
and just all the people on the porch at the Waltons every day, and like,
Because we went from barn raising to fence raising.
Yeah.
Because now we all just
yeah,
put
that's
fences
a great
up,
example.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Trees filter water, just tap it. I don't have any walnut trees like you guys do. I think that would be one of the hardest things. So, like, I like a good shower.
Yeah.
You know, and in a good hot shower. And I think for me, that would probably be one of my biggest ones. Like Inspector Gadget says, the electricity element. You
Yeah.
know? I can live without lights. I can live without a lot of things, but I think the whole
The hot water.
water thing would be an issue for me.
So I'm going to say something kind of embarrassing to myself, but my family's been picking on me for weeks. I don't like that our water doesn't get hot enough to like take a good bath for a decent amount of time. So I've been boiling water and like adding it to it, and they all call me like I'm a pioneer or something for doing that, you know? But
Hey,
that's
Mom,
what they
get
used
the
to
water
do. I
boiling
mean,
for
they
my
used to
bath.
boil the water, right?
That's what they
to,
call
like,
it, drawing a bath.
Yeah, drawing a bath.
Drawing a bath.
So-
That's what it literally means, drawing a bath. Yeah. The fact that I am cold all the time and weather sucks. Yeah, well, you know, you are mostly American now, Marika. You can choose to go and work and live in a southern state. Matter of fact, I'd encourage it. My wife makes me boil water for her. Like for the bath, you know, there's a little a knob on your water heater. You can.
Yeah, you can adjust how hot it gets. I get that. Yeah.
I did.
I shouldn't say I get that. My wife understands.
When we first moved into our house, I turned ours down to what would I guess would be the recommended setting,
Yeah.
the low end of the recommended setting, because
Yeah.
there's like a range. And after 3 years, I was like, man, I hate getting in the shower in the morning. I can never get like a truly hot shower. 'Cause
Yeah.
the cold tempers the hot too much. And so I went down and I tuned it just a hair, man. I mean,
Yeah.
And I said to everybody, just so you know, I turned the water heater up, and
Yeah.
sure enough, within a week, Veronica's like, "My gosh, this one."
Yeah. It's funny
Burned
because
my face
the
off.
shower in our bathroom is very sensitive to like it's either too hot or you know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean. Like it's just
Finding that
and
happy.
my
medium.
younger son will get out of the shower. Sometimes he looks pink. He'll take such a hot shower. I'm like, how are you like still alive?
Skin falling off. Marika knows all about that. She likes to burn her hands and melt water off, whether it's with rope or cooking or whatever. She does all kinds of great things. I'll let her tell that story when she's on stream next time. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the one thing I miss about talking about baths and all that kind of jazz. Our house in Canada, from moving from there to here, is we had an ensuite bathroom, a massive ensuite bathroom in that house, and it had a huge corner jacuzzi tub in it.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it was awesome.
Like you actually fit in it.
You could actually like fully lie down
Yeah,
in
I
it.
can't
and-
do that in ours.
Oh yeah, it was just
Yeah.
it was incredible, really nice. And I don't want to get rid of you. I just tried to launch you using a falling tree. That's all. You'll understand the story when she tells it. Oh, you got a small what? Inspector Gadget, where are you at? Are you in USA or Europe? A lot of the homes in Europe have small water heaters. Like those little apartment-sized ones, you know.
Yeah.
At least the places I've been to, anyways, and the people that I've talked to. Most of my family in Portugal all have the small little itty-bitty water heaters. In Jersey, are you an apartment or a house? Shut up. I don't want to. Yeah, I think for me, one of the things that it kind of appeals to the old times and living kind of the country. I got you, Inspector. Is the fact that I think I love to fidget with things. I love to fiddle and tinker and do all that kind of stuff. And I am kind of a jack of all trades, so to speak. So I think that's what appeals to me most about the whole farming thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it would be kind of like this opportunity to utilize it all in one stop.
Yeah.
You know, and really challenge myself. Yeah, you should have been at my house yesterday. What's up, Toasty? Should have been at my house yesterday more, trying to celebrate my youngest guy's birthday. Between the constant jabbing at each other back and forth and the almost fight between the two boys and the killing each other as we played a card game. It was, tragedy in the making. Oh, speaking of the brats, they're
Is she
here
out
now.
there?
Come on in, say hi. Come on in.
What's up?
Come on
Hi.
here. Come on over here.
Sorry.
Hey, Morg. So this is Marika here. So say hi.
What's up?
Peace. So she came dropping my youngest guy. Tell Asher to come in here too, so everyone can see. Because
Asher, are you
I talk
still
about the
out
brat all the time.
Where's
What's up, Craig?
Asher?
Yeah, I think we went back downstairs. Have you met Nick before?
Yeah, we met at the depot.
Asher says no.
So
He doesn't wanna see us.
say hi. It's my son-in-law. Come on in. Have you seen this yet, Craig? You can come around.
Say, we've never seen any of this.
You haven't been here at all.
No.
That's Craig. Say hi, Craig.
Hello.
You're officially live. You love her hair, MLA? Her hair. Come on in, Asher. Come here, child.
This is a family affair.
Come here,
now.
child.
You join.
Meet the people. The
You
people
want
want
to
to
sit,
meet.
Asher? I can get up. You can be on screen, man.
So this is the one. Sit. Get your. You're an idiot. This is my youngest. Hello, friends. MLA says hello to everybody. This is my youngest. You did your hair today. That's good. I'm glad. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Clear.
look at
Did you
that
at least
in
brush your
there.
teeth when you got up?
No.
Oh
was
my
waiting till I got
gosh!
home.
I wonder what that smell was. Get out of here. Horrible. Horrible. All right, later, kids. Well, you guys don't have to leave. You can stay.
Do you want to sit, Marika?
No, I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Nick's like, I
Do you
want
wanna
out.
leave?
No, I'm fine.
Hello,
I
youngest.
got like weeks and weeks to do what I was working on.
Yeah, literally.
What is happening to this door?
Don't
It
worry
won't
about it.
stay.
There's nobody. There's only close it if there's students here. There's no students here, so it's not the end of the world.
It doesn't work.
So what are you guys doing right now?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Craig went to Lowe's.
Yeah, so you just buying stuff and kind of hanging out.
Stocking up so I can finish my house.
So you heard that so Michigan officially has a stay-at-home order now. What they call it? A stay-safe order?
Stay safe. Stay at
Stay-
home. Stay safe. Or
Stay at
something.
home, stay safe order. Yeah.
We were watching it a little bit.
So,
Watched it.
oi, lots of fun.
Sorry if we disturbed your.
Yeah, you completely disturbed everything. You didn't disturb nothing.
Not at all.
There's literally nothing going on. Hello, except Ash, who doesn't have gray hair. Like, oh, Morg roasting the gray hair. Thanks, Morg. Appreciate that.
Your hair is very popular on here.
Yeah, Marika has famously bright hair. So,
I was gonna say the middle child hates how much I change it all the time.
don't hide. What? Don't step on my notes, especially.
No,
Rip.
no.
Yeah, she's always making fun of me, Morg. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just going through chat. Is Ash taller? So I've got 3 kids. I was gonna say I got 2 boys. I got 3 kids. I got Marika, Asher, who you just saw, and then I've got Theron. Theron is officially the tallest member of the family. I don't mean just our immediate family, just the family in general.
Except for maybe like Papa.
No, even that. Asher's even taller than him. So, and then Asher is very close to Theron now. So he's even catching Theron.
Yeah.
So he's still, by the end of this year, I suspect he'll be taller than all of us. So, but Marika's the smallest. She's just a little one.
Rude. Okay.
That's what happens when you don't feed your kids.
I ate,
eat
for the
more than
longest
anybody.
time. I've eaten more.
Yeah, you're a bit of a pig.
I've grown in
She's
wide,
small.
Not tall.
Yeah, you grew wide, not tall. Hardly. All 100 pounds of you. No, so we're talking about farming. If all of this is apocalyptic and the world is ending, could you sustain yourself on a farm?
Yeah.
Do you think you could do it? I mean, you've got a couple of acres. You could probably do something.
Llamas. You've been saying forever. that we
Llamas.
wanna do llamas.
We're going to do llamas.
Someone needs llamas.
More, you're going to have to give up your llamas. Marika's going to take all your llamas.
Llamas and goats.
Llamas and goats. See, I'm a goat. I could do the goats. The llamas, I don't know. They're a little too ornery
Or
when you.
if you get alpacas, then you can get like wool out of
Can you
them,
eat
too.
those?
Yeah, I imagine. I'd imagine you can eat any animal.
But will it taste good?
theoretically.
There's enough turkeys around us. Would be fine for turkey.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They come out like clockwork.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. So, what would be the hardest part of farming for you? If you had to do it, what would be the hardest part?
I don't know.
Assuming you got to do it with what you currently have in your homestead now, today.
Because I mean, we have access to water,
Hmm.
so theoretically we could like water everything fine.
It is more,
We're
yeah.
gonna need electricity though to power that water.
Not necessarily, just get a lot of buckets.
Do you, so do you have a generator?
No.
Do you have any access to solar or batteries?
We have
Can.
propane.
We can easily make that happen.
So could you take, because you have a well,
Yeah.
right? So you have a pump,
Mhm.
right? Operates off of household current.
Yep.
So
We
could you,
need solar.
so this is how you got to think. You got to think,
Yeah.
can I take what I have existing? So I have 3 cars in my house, which I assume I have at least 3 car batteries, right? So could I take a car battery and somehow wire it up to my pump to draw water up if need be? And how do I charge my battery then? So I have an alternator on my car.
Or just get the water well it's running and then try to back off when you get the water.
So so this is it. So if I have an alternator in my car, how do I then charge my battery? If because I can't run the car because I'm out of gas. Say I'm out of gas.
Okay, and there's the other problem.
Bikes.
So-
There was a Top Gear
So
episode.
you have a bike. You take the
Bikes.
alternator out of your car, take the belt that goes with the alternator, you run it to your bike. That's exactly how you do it.
Get on it.
Or you stick Marika on it
Get my cardio.
and get her fat butt pedaling because she eats too much. Right? Honestly, you have a built-in way. You have at least 3 alternators at your house,
Oh yeah. we-
right? So where there's a will, there's a way. You could literally make that happen.
Bring that in vehicle.
Right, and that's my point, is that we all have the capacity within ourselves to manage some, but you have to, again, you have to have the mind that says, okay, how do I turn that into what I need?
Does YouTube exist in this
in this post-apocalyptic world?
There you go. That's
What's
right.
up, Mr. Soggy Waffles?
Okay,
How are you, buddy?
library I'm familiar with. Yeah.
Yeah, so you might want to download some PDFs soon and print those off. I mean, so that when it does proverbially hit the fan, you're ready. Because the reality, hello, Craig. Because the reality is that that you don't have internet. So I mean, you gotta.
Hey, Poggy.
Poggy's a lie, by the way. You'll never be Poggy. It's always been Soggy Waffles. What? So speaking of that, what was the reason why you changed your name in the first place, from Soggy to Poggy? Your head still shows. Yeah, it's not expensive if you get the right stuff. Blame Cath Cow? I blame her for most things, but I'm curious why you changed your name. Do you think so? Get back to the topic, anyways. Well, Poggy tells me the truth. Mostly to troll Chago. Got you. Yeah, but he'll always be Soggy to me. I literally never. Do I ever call you Poggy? Never. It's always Soggy. Always call you Soggy. Since he was always getting your name wrong. Yeah, well, sucks to be him. Should have left your name alone. And then now you've got emotes and everything else for Poggy Waffles because you suck. It's Poggy. Not. Yeah, so I mean, the real challenge with farming right now, outside of livestock, because you have to find sheep and goats and everything else to raise, is the seed base. Where do you get seeds from? Who do you beat up to get seeds?
That's what it comes to, right?
You raid the stores.
Yeah, you literally.
Yeah.
So, do you like like a prepper would, right? Do you always just keep seeds in the garage so you've got a starter base? 3 or 4 packages of corn, 3 or 4 packages of.
I mean, what, for the last 5 years, we've been throwing pumpkins in our backyard at the end of Halloween.
Right? So, I mean, in seeds are what, 99 cents a package?
Yeah, they're cheap.
So, I mean, is it something where you keep a little bit around? Totally make this into a prepper channel. We can do it.
'Cause, I mean, theoretically, once you plant one plant, even if it's not a reoccurring one, you can just keep.
You can do
Assuming you know how to do
cuttings.
it.
Yeah, you can split them or.
Assuming you know how to do it, yeah. So, and that's the challenge you're up against, right? Is again, there's basic know-how that needs to be in place. How do I germinate? How do I, do all the stuff I need to do? Why are you hiring me? Oh, when are you hiring me so I can make fun of you? So Soggy wants to come work for me. I'm stealing Soggy and Morg and Nappy. All the hiring happening. So we have built in. Soggy said last week that if we lose any staff to this, he'll sell
gotcha.
everything and move here instantly
Gotcha.
to come work for us. Bags are packed. Hire me. Morg is a speech therapist. Soggy can do our books. All the good things happening.
Isn't she still? Did she just graduate from doing that, or is
You're
she-
graduating as soon as your placement's done, basically, isn't it? Morg, May, June.
I thought I saw
Because if you're going online now with your kids, that means you're still getting your hours, right? Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully by June she's done. So yeah, I don't know. So what's the hardest part of farming outside of equipment?
The effort. A lot of people don't have the willpower to do it.
Is it just effort? What is there to farming?
It's knowledge. It's weather.
Mhm.
It's so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I feel like you
daunting.
can get very depressed very quickly if something goes wrong, and then you're like, I can't do this.
It's all on you. Like
Yeah.
a lot of, you know what I mean? Like,
It's a metaphor for life.
I didn't mean to go there.
But there's. I think you're onto something there. You love not getting notifications. What's up, Dingleberry McGee? FYI, check your Minecraft house. I've been dropping gifts off for you. You just completely ignore me, dude. Please.
Except the bromance.
Accept the bromance. Yeah, I think you're on to the kind of what I'm getting at is the fact that there is. It's a both and where you have to have a certain level of expertise or understanding of the basics of nature to make things work. How do animals make more animals? How do plants make more plants? And then what's the one thing that every farmer is known for? When the tractor breaks, he can fix it, or
Yeah.
she can fix it. No offense, right? So that was my car analogy. With if you have water in the ground and you have a pump, but I have no electricity, so how do I make electricity to make my pump work? What most farmers possess is a basic understanding of everything.
Yeah.
They're very smart people.
Right? They're the original MacGyvers.
You need to grow up in that though. Like it needs to be a lifestyle. You know,
dude.
like it needs to.
Instilled in you.
Yeah.
Can you?
Or what is it? 10,000 hours to master a skill.
Yeah.
But there's so many skills you have to master.
Yeah. So if you're an accountant, you're screwed. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, but the
Sorry, people.
I mean, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or although I do have a father-in-law that had a big hoop house for many years, so
Yeah.
like, as long as I can keep him around,
Yeah.
you know.
I think one of the neat things of kind of my broken background is the fact that I had a lot of time to do things I shouldn't have been doing. And I mean it just the way I said it. That because I wasn't parented well, I got into a lot of mischief. I started a lot of fires, figuratively and literally. You know what I mean? Where I'd go in the garage and I would get into the tools, or I'd go out back and I'd literally find different ways to start fires. I'd take apart bullets to make, other things blow up that weren't supposed to blow up. You know what I mean? And I would do things that otherwise weren't normal for kids my age. And I think that's part of my curiosity, is part of that, combined with my parents' poor parenting skills, has combined to a place where I think I'm pretty ready. Shut her down, people. I think I could do it. I think I'm at a place where I could probably survive and survive well. In pragmatic. Pyromaniac. I thought you said pragmatic. McGee is pragmatic. I think I'm a bit of a survivalist. Now I'm not a prepper, but I think I have the tools to survive. And I think that's the shortfall. People don't have the basic tools in their house.
I'm making a list in my head right now as we've been talking.
Nick's got his phone on. He's like typing, "Get a hammer, a box of nails." No, there's a reality to that. I mean, you go through, most people's homes that just live. Yeah. They most people don't have the things that they need to put two and two together, whatever 2 and 2 is, right? So, and I think that's kind of the cool thing about having a Rise Above at your disposal. You got a 10,000 square foot building that you could automatically turn into just about anything. So, have you ever thought about this? This building is set up 3 floors.
Yeah.
Right? It would be nothing to take this room here, put the fish aquariums here,
Yeah.
drill through the floor where the water tubes flow down,
Yeah, you could have some hydroponics going on.
And
Yeah.
to go down to where the
Yeah.
lettuce grows and do all that kind of thing.
So you're saying this will be our bunker?
This is the bunker. It's literally
Rise
an old
above
prison.
the bunker.
Yeah.
It's this type of thing where you could really find creative ways to sustain and develop.
Well, you go into that room next to my office where the window's wider than the door. Like, I mean, I have friends I can't fit through that door. So there's some bad dudes I can't fit through that door either.
Yeah, especially if you got gear.
Yeah.
Help me. What are we saying in chat? I missed half of it. Dingle, you off today? I'll be on later, Dingle. I got other stuff for both you guys. You burned your hair off when you were... What the heck were you doing burning your hair off, Morg? on the one side of my face.
Kids don't just do that.
I didn't do that. I mean, I burned other things, but that's too funny. Yeah, I think that's probably the greatest challenge is finding you started the darn fire. Well, I figured that much. Like, how did you get your hair into it, you meatball? I think that's probably the biggest challenge is people just are underprepared.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, having 17 years of food rations and 18 million cases of water. Oh, you're doing that.
I'm trying to. I'm judged by society if I don't. I'm
We
still.
all judge by society. Either way.
That's too funny. So I think you can survive longer than you think you can just by having the basics.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be a prepper to survive, because the reality is people will naturally congregate in those situations.
And I think willpower plays into that a lot too. Is willpower to learn, willpower to whatever.
Well, even a desire to survive.
Correct.
Right?
And different people are going to have different levels of that. Close to a fire poke.
I'm trying to have a mental picture of how you did it. Like, were you like sniffing it? Were you trying to curl your hair with it? Like, put my face too close
A primitive curling iron.
to a fire poke. It's a primitive curl. Yeah, it's 17th century curling iron. You're not that smart. All I need is a running PC. Yeah, and it's 2020 and you still don't have that, Dingle. Just gonna say no. This guy fights with his PC every day. Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing is how do we go from where we are today to to no electronics, like if a thing were to crash, like because there's a reality. Early on, they said how robust is our network to sustain 300 million people currently in the U.S. plus almost 400 million now, suddenly jumping on the internet
Yeah.
all at the same time, all streaming Hulu and Netflix.
Yep.
Could we do it?
Logging on to PlayStation.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, even streaming, everyone right now, like Anna, was it Anna who said it earlier? Somebody was talking about earlier the idea that she's going to spend the bulk of her time now watching streams.
Yeah.
Right? And there's something there's something to that when we say 300 million people just jumped on to
Yeah.
Twitter or
Well,
Twitch.
even my older son Gavin was saying yesterday his game was lagging a
What's up,
little bit.
Spitfire?
And I just wanted to make the lag joke. I was like, you want to know what's not lagging? My love for you. You can come in here and hang out with me.
Aw, Nice.
And he was so not amused by that,
That is nasty, Mitch.
nice. Yeah, there is there is an infrastructure question
Yeah.
at hand that literally could take our farming analogy or kind of could you do it type thing
Yeah.
and thrust it into our face fairly quickly.
Well, I think back to Y2K, and everywhere is concerned about zeros and ones and like what's
Yeah.
it going to do, and it was
Yeah,
nothing,
yeah.
But I think this is
Thankfully.
different. This is different from that, where there is going to be an overabundance of strain on all these different systems.
Yeah.
I
I mean, outside of the whole hospital thing, but I just think it's interesting when you start to think about the rabbit holes of our everyday that we take advantage of,
Mhm.
right? And that when you suddenly put everybody in a given country in the same boat, like what surprises? Here's another rabbit hole we're gonna run down. What surprises me that hasn't come up yet? Because we talked about China, which has 1.5 billion, 2 billion people.
Mhm.
Who the next the most populous country in the world?
India.
India.
Yeah.
I have not heard about India one time in this conversation.
Yeah.
And you talk about population density.
Yeah.
They have even less land than China.
Like, when you think about
Yeah.
like a virus spreading like crazy, who's heard the word India anywhere in the news? In what India is doing? Like, you hear what China's doing, you hear about all
Yeah.
like Italy and all this kind of stuff, but
So is it not?
I mean, we're even hearing about North Korea.
Do they
for
have
crying out
it? Do they have it together? What's your point? Like, where are you going with this? Just that we haven't heard anything.
We haven't heard 3 billion people in
Yeah.
one country,
Yeah,
and we've
yeah.
heard nothing about
Yeah.
the spread of this in that country. Because really, that's a tragedy waiting to happen. Because with 3 billion people would have zero infrastructure
Mm-hmm.
to any great extent, right? Because the vast majority of their people live on what we would consider poverty line or
Yeah.
or less
468 cases right now
in India.
in India. And they're already on like strict lockdown in a couple of the provinces.
So, like, that's crazy to me that to think that that's a real number.
Yeah.
Right? 3 billion people.
When I become a farmer, I'm not going to be able to have access to information like that.
Very densely populated and has
That's
hu-
actually a huge point right there.
like you talk about waste management.
Yeah.
Like they're great recyclers.
Yes.
I mean they're actually 60% recyclers when it comes to, like, North Americans would dream at recycling at that level,
Yeah.
but 60% of their plastics and stuff like that get recycled out of necessity,
Mhm.
right? Whatever they don't chuck in the river.
Yeah.
But that their sanitation, I
Their
think,
sanitation
is
and
the probably the
sewage is an
biggest
issue.
issue,
Yeah.
because they're still literally using open septic
Yeah.
in the streets for a lot of the villages and towns that are out there. I'm not saying that that's the population at large, but the vast majority of the little villages, and especially when you talk about the different provinces that India has. But I asked the question simply because we're talking a lot about large urban city centers and the spread of viruses,
Yeah.
like in New York and whatnot. And here you have a country that is the most populous country in the world, that has the greatest density of people anywhere on the planet,
Mhm.
and they suspiciously have 480 cases. That sounds off to me, but
Yeah.
I was thinking about that last number. The number of COVID-19 cases are 424 now. 33 people have been cured, discharged, migrated, while 9 have died. Total of 468.
Well, you got to wonder in some of these countries, and this isn't necessarily
The
India, but
reporting of it,
maybe
yeah.
the reporting of it. Yeah, like what kind of information is really getting out? You know, is it getting shared? Is it getting?
Yeah.
I mean, I think about even our stay in place thing. Like, we're allowed to go outside, we're allowed to walk the dog, but like you go to a city like New York or like China or Bangkok or wherever, and people live on top of each other, and they're going through these high rises, and you
Yeah,
can't leave.
you
because
can't leave. There's nowhere
leave
to walk.
without interacting
Yeah.
with people. You know.
Yeah. Then you add another. So what's the greatest social event in our world? What's the number one greatest social event that the world puts on every 4 years?
Olympics.
The Olympics. The Olympics are supposed to be this summer
Yeah.
in Japan,
Yeah.
another very densely populated
Yeah.
country. So it's officially been postponed.
Your people already pulled out.
Mhm.
Has it been postponed today?
Did you say my people officially?
Well,
pulled?
Canada. Canada pulled out.
Your people.
Sorry.
Your people.
They're leading the charge to getting it postponed.
Yeah. And it's crazy to think that here we have so let's talk about the economics of this for a second. The Olympics has literally bankrupt countries in the past. Greece is the prime example. So Greece's downfall was the Olympics that they hosted, that the world said, oh, you got to do it. It's going to bring back Greece. It's going to be great for
It
all
kicked
this stuff.
off the downward
It
spiral.
literally
Yeah.
was the
Yeah.
catalyst
Yeah.
for the bankruptcy of an entire country.
Mhm.
It literally was. When I went to Greece, you toured the country, which is not a large country. You can go from one end to the other in 6 hours, type of thing. And there were Olympic venues everywhere that were like, what is that place? That looks so weird. It's just this weird shaped kind of like whatever. And like, oh, that was the Olympic venue for rowing. We're like, what? And there's these like green cesspools that
Yeah.
were the lanes where people rode, all these years ago. And it's literally just decimated now. And so here we have a country like Japan that just literally spent $6 billion preparing for the Olympics. And now we're saying, but we're not going to do that now.
Yeah.
Japan obviously is more of an economic powerhouse than
Yeah.
Greece is, because Greece was a largely rural farming community, although they did have some industry, but very little. So it's not going to necessarily kill it, but think about that. $6 billion spent with the thought that the tourism would somehow bring the vast majority of that back. It never brings
Yeah.
all of it back, but
Yeah.
that they were going to recoup. Now they're not going to get any of that back.
Yeah.
The flip side of that is you're a Olympic athlete, and you've just spent 4 years being the best athlete you can be,
Yeah.
preparing for one race.
One shot. Yeah.
And it's gone. Oh, almost had me sing an Eminem song there for a second. One opportunity. Mom's spaghetti all over the place. It's gonna be crazy. Well, you all know the song. Tourism is done. At least 6 months.
Yeah.
At least 6 months. So,
Well, it's like in a lot of the, going back on the Olympic
mom's spaghetti.
topic, like a lot of these people like rely on the Olympics to get their income. So
Yeah,
like, a lot of these athletes aren't going to get
Endorsements.
Endorsements and
Yeah.
all the other stuff. Yeah, like it's crazy what we're up against. And if you're wondering, some of you are wondering what I'm looking down at. My daughter is down to my over here sitting beside me. I'm just not talking to the ground.
Don't we have a cam down there?
We do actually. There's a camera right there. You can put it on Craig.
Oh, this is where you do your push-ups.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't face that way at the moment, and I can't get all three. Actually, I should set it up so I can get all three cameras on at one time. Get your you monster. I guess she can get her own damn chair. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, there's a reality to. We talk about the fair has been canceled or whatever the case is, but there's large multinational things that have been kind of pushed aside.
Well, you look at like that's what made like me start to say, hey, this is really going to start happening is when the NBA shuts down and those aren't organizations that don't go for the dollar first, right? Those
Yeah, they're 100% doing it for the
are
dollar.
For profit.
For profit. You can't be any more for profit.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
And so how are you all responding? Speaking of for profit, so one of the things that they're all telling us here in the U.S. to do, and I assume in Canada, is the whole drive-through.
Yeah.
Go for takeout.
Yeah.
Right? Go and get your pizza delivered, because I saw someone talk about pizza. We had pizza yesterday from one of our local places. And are you guys all supporting the takeout order to keep businesses flowing and keep our restaurants in business? And I'll ask the room, your best pizza toppings. What's your best pizza topping? If you were to get a pizza, what do you order on your pizza?
As of late, pineapple.
Pineapple?
Bacon.
What'd you say, Craig?
Pepperoni and bacon.
Pepperoni and bacon,
I'm pepperoni, bacon, green pepper.
green pepper.
The green pepper's
See,
good.
I like a little hint of green pepper.
Yeah.
Like when they accidentally put one on your pizza, you're like, that's a little,
I don't
extra
want like
something.
a veggie pizza, but I want either a green pepper or an onion on there, you
Yeah.
know?
I'm a meat lover. I'm like ham, but like
Yeah.
I like the
Please.
not square chunks
Yes,
of ham.
please tell me you're elitist about your ham.
I
'Cause I
am.
too.
It has to be a very particular
Yes,
ham.
I will ask places what their ham looks like
Yes.
before I order ham on
It
pizza.
can't be little chunks.
Like the cube.
Yeah, it can't be
Yeah.
like yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, like Andy's Pizza in town to throw pizza out, shaved ham on the pizza.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
I mean that's top notch, but definitely not cubes. Definitely not like pre-cut triangles.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
none of that
yeah,
crap.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. It's got to be. But yeah, I'm more of a meat lover's kind of a. You know what? I don't like bacon. I like. Well, hang on a second. Let's not spread rumors.
Thought we were gonna walk out. I'm like, I don't know if we can.
I like bacon. I don't like bacon on my food. I like bacon by itself, like bacon and eggs or something
Yeah.
like that. I don't put bacon on my food because bacon flavor is so distinct, it overpowers every other flavor for me. And I like to taste all the things.
Yeah.
And if I
Fair
put
enough.
bacon on my food, it kills all the other flavors for me. I don't
Yeah.
get my pepperoni flavor. And that's the same thing with Italian sausage. All that to say, I don't like Italian sausage in my pizza. Yeah, so who was the best? Oh, it was MLA that said best pizza toppings.
Yeah.
Let's see, I just missed. This is a frozen supreme. Wow, Dingleberry McGee. Frozen pizza should never be. Yeah, I know what I did there. Thanks for noticing. I rhymed. Heck yeah, I was like mushrooms on pizza. Who's a you mushroom? You do mushrooms?
I
I
yeah.
can't.
It has to be
I
small
order
pieces.
it, but
It
if somebody
can't be
has
I
like.
can't do mushrooms.
I'm not gonna pick them off, but I don't want them on there.
I can't.
Same.
I will. I will literally get out the smallest little piece of mushroom from my. Pick those suckers out. They're just.
Every so often,
sli-
He is the definition
texture's
of a grown
terrible.
child.
The texture's terrible.
It's like I'm eating a slug.
Yeah.
It does. Just look at it. It's like someone put a slug on my pizza because you touch it and it's slimy.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Like Black Olive ruined everything.
Black. It's,
Oh,
black
olives
olive's another
are-
thing that.
Pick those
Olives are terrible. I will not. Yeah, I won't do the.
Grandpa
Like,
loves.
Okay, bye everyone on sub. Get out of here, Morg. I don't think Supreme is Best Buy, but yeah. See, I can do certain veggies and stuff on my pizza, but I got to draw the line at mushrooms. I just can't do the mushroom things. It's literally slugs on a pizza.
How about deep fried mushrooms? Just separately.
no.
It grows in poop. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
It's literally called a. It's
Every
literally a
vegetable
fungus. It is literally a fungus.
That cheese, that too, but cheese is my fave. It's a,
There was a thing that I saw, and it was just like, and it's this meme. And it was like God talking to Gabriel, creating mushroom, and he's like, "Here, get this. Some of them will make you see things. Some of them taste great on pizza, and some just kill you." It's the funniest thing ever.
yeah,
It's just
should have
like-
been there, I guess. So yeah, so. Oh, that's too funny. So then, flavored crust or an unflavored crust? Next question.
If flavoring is an option, I want a flavored, and I don't want thin crust at all. That's like eating pizza on a cracker.
Emily. Yeah, I agree. So
I just want normal crust. Like I don't need thick. Like just normal.
just
crust.
give me a pizza crust.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's part of, for me, that's part of getting the pizzas. I want the crust.
yeah,
The people that throw crust away, smack
Yeah.
'em.
yeah.
That's an unsub right there. You don't eat your pizza crust? Unsubbed. What's that?
I said a lot of sad nights for me.
Yeah,
when
a lot of
pizza
sad
crust.
My gosh.
And then I want sauce. Like
then
I
Mom and
enjoy
would
the
fight over
sauce.
who gets your crust.
Like I'm a sauce person. Like I have a friend that orders his pizza with light sauce. That's not pizza.
We
Like,
actually,
that's-
when we have pizza at the house, we get extra sauce on the table
yeah,
because people be
yeah,
dipping.
Yeah,
I think mushrooms and olive pizza right now. Fight me. Really? Really? Olive and mushrooms?
I just threw up in my mouth a little
That's
bit.
me too. I was just thinking that. It's like, oh my gosh, garlic, mushroom, butter. See, it was the garlic butter that made me think of the whole flavored crust thing
Yeah.
because I'm all about when I make pizza at home, which we do a lot. Mouth is watering a little bit, not gonna lie. I will butter and garlic with a little light Parmesan.
Yeah.
The crust, because I mean that's now I want pizza. Hex yeah. We got pizza at home. We got leftovers. You guys didn't take the leftovers last night?
Mom didn't give us any.
I got
Oh,
like
that
some
sucks.
pieces in the fridge,
Do ya?
freezer, so.
So
7 frozen pizzas. The place you ate last night. I don't know.
we had Clavons
Frozen
last
pizzas
night.
are actually pretty good.
Where are you getting them from?
Schwann's.
Schwann's?
and
Oh,
also the
yeah.
California ones that Myers has.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
those are a thin crust, so you wouldn't like those.
Yeah, not a fan.
You do the Schwann's?
Cracker pizza. We used to do a lot of Schwann's. We don't anymore.
So Schwann's
Yeah.
is like a frozen drive to your house,
Yeah,
deliver
yeah.
frozen stuff to your house type thing.
They come to my work. That's why I started doing it.
Crust is the best crust. Thin crust is the best. Really? MLA, you just lost a friend in Nick. Don't at me. And toss thick crust, but yeah. See. So Clavon's, a restaurant around here, has what's the what do they call that pizza?
It's like an upside down.
The thick.
Oh, the deep dish.
Is it
deep dish?
It's like it has sauce on top,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
And
an
it's-
upside down
upside
it's literally an inch and a half, 2 inches thick. This
Yeah.
pizza,
Yeah.
and you
Takes
need
45 minutes. So, like you gotta wait.
yeah, you gotta wait a bit to
Yeah.
get it, and we get oh my gosh, I just want it now.
I'm surprised you guys didn't get it yesterday.
I thought Mom.
See, I do like the red.
She hates me.
What we had last night, that was.
Did you
what
try to
we-
like
Yeah, they were. I mean, those pizzas were good last night. So now we're all talking about pizza now. in a reality, any pizza is good. Yeah, true enough, Dingle. Yeah, I don't know. So now we've totally shifted gears and ruined the stream. Well, I was run from the day one because I pushed the button.
Now we're gonna get pizza in the end time.
Well, you can always get pizza. You haven't had lunch at pizza. Yeah, I haven't had lunch yet either. So
Me neither.
I had coffee this morning.
I make waffles.
You had waffles. Are they like Eggo waffles? Or are they
No,
like
I actually make waffles
Oh,
with
nice.
walnut syrup.
we got rid. We need another waffle maker. We don't have. You have a waffle maker?
No,
Who-
I'm not
who
big
else
on
a waffle?
breakfast.
You're not a breakfast person?
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
Craig's the only one who's really into breakfast. I
I
don't know.
finally was able to cook for somebody this morning.
Yeah. Yay. Are you breakfast people? Are you like waffles and are you like bacon and eggs? So what if you get a choice, breakfast, and you're making breakfast? What's your go-to?
If I'm making breakfast, I will have poached eggs on toast with some bacon.
Poached eggs. So
I don't like I can tolerate French toast, but like waffles,
It's like
pancakes,
heaven food.
I've just never
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. How do you like your poached eggs?
I like
Is that the only
poached
way you
eggs.
like your
I mean, I'll eat over easy. I'm not big on scrambled eggs unless it's like in a burrito,
yeah.
you know.
Gotcha. You like egg, Craig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll either do I'll do 2 hard-boiled eggs in the morning or something, or mainly bacon. But
Gotcha.
He makes a really, really good bacon.
I take to work.
I make mean bacon.
Jalapeno bacon.
I'm an over easy.
Yeah,
I gotta-
I like over.
I like a
easy.
little runny yolk, toast,
Yeah.
mouth watering. In because of the whole high protein diet and stuff like that, we eat a ton of eggs. Probably go through a lot of eggs.
Still don't have chickens.
Still don't know chicken. We have a chicken coop, but no chickens. Can't find a place. You know anybody that sells chickens?
I don't know. Kay bought some chickens a couple weeks ago.
Did she?
Then her dog ate them.
If we had chickens, but
Oh yeah.
Sad day. Yeah, she was distraught.
I got chickens. I don't got chickens.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
We had a nice Monday morning chat about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got omelets perfected. I know how to get them so they're just like perfect. They're like 3 inches thick. They fluff up real good. Oh, they're so little ham in there, cheese. Yeah, nom nom for sure.
I've been doing those a couple times.
Yeah, but
They just turned into scrambled eggs.
Oh, when you try to flip that thing.
yeah, I've gotten into cereal lately, and Morg, you're not allowed to comment when I say this. Raisin Bran. What? Oh my god, I caught my daughter putting a butter knife inside of a plugged-in toaster. And you did what? Just sit and watch and see what happened there, Inspector Gadget? Or you're like, hey, where are you going with this?
Gotta learn your lesson somehow, I guess.
Such an old man, sir. I told you not to comment.
Yeah, so I love Wheat Chex. Like Wheat Chex is my go-to, and my family
Old
makes
man
so much
cereal.
fun of it. But one of my sons eats Raisin Bran Crunch. You need extra.
I need
fiber.
extra fiber. Oh, that's too funny. I used to be that whole. I used to eat that all the time. That cereal.
My mom didn't let us have sugar cereals at
Yeah, same
all
here.
growing up, and I really thought I would go crazy in college,
wheat.
and I never did.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Shredded wheat was our thing. My
Yeah.
mom used to buy it, and it came. You got 2 of them, and they were like wrapped in a plastic bag,
mm-hmm.
and you had to. And so we'd beat the crap out of it in the bag. So when you open it up, it was all like,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And then I discovered, hey, you can eat these things whole. So then I'd leave them in the bowl, and anyways, we just dumped 4 tablespoons of sugar on top. Anyways, it was irrelevant.
Yeah.
Cheerios, regular Cheerios or Honey Nut Cheerios? I like
My
me some
kids eat Honey Nut. I'd rather have regular, but
Yeah, mini wheats are good too. But yeah, I don't know what it is. Raisin Bran, and I hate raisins. Figure that out.
yeah,
If you give me a box of raisins, I'm like, ugh,
yeah.
dude, it's just more moldy food. Get this out of here.
Yet you like wine.
Yet I drink wine. The reality is, Raisin Bran is appealed to my palate as of late, and I can't figure out for the life of me why. I've literally eaten like 4 Costco-sized boxes in the past 6 months. It's been
If they're out of Raisin Bran, you know where to go find some.
world apocalypse. All the Raisin Brans at the Fernandez house, getting her done. No, freaked out and explained to my 14-year-old that it's bad. That's bad.
I wasn't expecting.
She's like,
it
I
to
do
be
it
a
all the time.
I wasn't expecting it to be a 14-year-old that put the knife
So,
in the
yeah,
toaster.
that's what I was thinking too. And the fact that she says she does it all the time. Yeah, for 14 years she's been like, "Oh, my ego's stuck. Yoink! We get that bad boy out of there. Thank the dear Lord you saw it at least once." That's too funny. Well, this stream kind of just degraded into absolute chaos. That's what happens when your kids come in the room. Just
there we go.
see hands. Hands. Anyways, I figured I would stream today just to stream. I really didn't have much. I figured there's not much going on, and I just want to get everyone's kind of feedback on how they're doing and whether or not your ammunition that everyone has ordered has arrived yet. Mine's supposed to come in tomorrow, so you know, and just make sure everyone gets a chance to be heard and to hear. She's like, what are they talking about me? She's not supposed to be in the room when you tell stories about her, at least. Well, mine is, anyways. I'm lonely. Truth. I think I might do another one this week. I don't know. What's that?
I said you're supposed to have the ammo before this happens.
Yeah. Sadly, I need Mo. Flex much? No, I got a sweater on. What's flexing for? You should have saved that, Dingo. My gosh, child. I can't even flex. I got a sweater on. And I haven't worked out. The gyms are all closed.
Well, you have the one now.
It's sad. Yeah, but it sucks. It's all ellipticals.
The one down
I'm
here.
Sorry.
Yeah. Can't do anything with it.
Gym elite.
Bah. Since I can't have firearms, I guess I'll have to settle for forearms. I got you. I see what you're doing. For firearms. I understand what you're saying, Dave.
Yeah.
I get you. Anyways, so I just wanted to stream to kind of say hi to everybody real quick. Nothing's going on. Bored. Next stream I'm gonna do an update stream on kind of the build that we're doing downstairs.
Oh,
Talk
cool.
a little bit about that. I'm gonna poke brains a little bit and say, hey, what should we do, and kind of do some voting on stream. And that's where you on that PC might be helpful, because I'll set you up so you can actually set all the
Yep.
votes up and do the thing. I'll teach you how to do that. It's really simple, actually.
So that then your wife can overrule anything that's
Yeah,
voted on.
yeah. So the greater populace can have a say for about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Just for Veronica to go, no, only pool table. She gets that clip. I'm dead. Yeah, so thanks. Appreciate y'all hanging out today. For those of you that are on Dingle's Minecraft server, get your butts on there. The Dingle behind your house on where the original wheat field and animals and all that jazz is, I've built the first of the stores. There's a pathway there. Everyone is encouraged that is on your server to build a store where they can sell their wares, whatever you want to wear. Mine is going to be a bit of this and that. Make sure you post clearly. Don't touch until the prices are posted. That's the rule of thumb for your stores, though. So, yeah, get on and build a store. Morgue, Dingle, sell your stuff. Risk is old. Current poll is Risk old. You're all fired. You're all fired. Cannot believe you would do that. And I just voted yes. Very. That's too funny. I can't believe you did that. It's 100% for very old. Just saying. So who would have had the ability? Morgue is the only one that has the ability to do this. Morgue, you're fired. 100% fired. And then it comes back that I'm very old. Guys are horrible. No respect at all. Anyways. Okay, I'm getting out of here. I got to go do some work. And, or at least, was it Morgue? No, it's all no's. That's too funny. No, it wasn't Morgue. All right. Anyways,
Okay.
take it easy, everybody.
See y'all.
Have a good one. We'll see you, for those of you who are Minecraft, and we'll see you guys in a little bit, probably. Ciao for now. Behave. Be safe. Stay healthy.